In recent years, there has been a renewed interest in lunar exploration, with three major players in space travel, namely NASA, China, and Russia, all setting their sights on the Moon. NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration of the United States, has been at the forefront of lunar research and exploration for decades. In fact, the Apollo missions of the 1960s and 1970s represented some of the most significant achievements in space exploration, with NASA astronauts landing on the Moon and performing a variety of experiments and research. However, it has been decades since the last manned mission to the Moon, and NASA is now planning to return in the not-too-distant future. In 2024, the agency plans to send the first woman and the next man to the lunar surface through its Artemis program. This ambitious initiative aims to establish a long-term presence on the Moon, with plans to build a lunar gateway and ultimately send crewed missions to Mars. China, on the other hand, has been making significant strides in lunar exploration in recent years. In 2019, the China National Space Administration (CNSA) made history by becoming the first country to successfully land a robotic spacecraft on the far side of the Moon. The Chang'e 4 mission also included a small rover, which has been conducting experiments and sending back data ever since. China's lunar ambitions don't stop there. However, the country is currently developing a larger, more sophisticated spacecraft called the Chang'e 5, which aims to return lunar samples to Earth for the first time since the 1970s. The CNSA also plans to establish a permanent lunar outpost in the coming years, possibly before 2030. Meanwhile, Russia has also been working on its lunar ambitions, though with somewhat less fanfare. The country's space agency, Roscosmos, has been designing a lunar orbiting station called the Lunar Orbital Platform Gateway, which it plans to launch in the mid-2020s. Hey guys! I came here in the middle of the video, asking you to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, because there is a lot of special content every day. Keep watching. There may also be increased cooperation between these countries, with the potential for joint missions and collaborations on scientific projects. However, given the current geopolitical climate, it's also possible that we'll see increased competition and a renewed space race. Either way, it's clear that there's no turning back when it comes to lunar exploration. With ambitious plans and exciting new technologies on the horizon, the future of space travel looks brighter than ever before. In addition to scientific research and potential cooperation or competition, the increased interest in lunar exploration also raises questions about the potential for commercial ventures on the Moon. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin have already expressed interest in lunar mining and resource exploitation, potentially opening up a new frontier for space capitalism. However, the idea of commercial ventures on the Moon also raises ethical questions about property rights and the exploitation of natural resources in space. As space travel becomes more accessible and commercialized, it's important to consider the impact on not only space, but also society and the environment. Another aspect of lunar exploration is the potential for international diplomacy. With major players like the US, China, and Russia all involved in lunar missions, this presents an opportunity for diplomatic efforts and collaboration on a global scale. However, the current political tensions between these countries could also impede progress and cooperation. The space race of the Cold War era was marked by significant advancements in space exploration and technology, but at the cost of political tension and the threat of nuclear war. Hopefully, the current efforts towards lunar exploration will lead to a more peaceful and cooperative era of space exploration.